Hi. Hi there. What's today, Wednesday? Let's just get straight to it. This video is actually about the mass shootings that happened in California. So, am I surprised? No. I told you guys that more mass shootings were going to happen. And then they happened, and now you guys are all surprised, and now everybody wants to make social change. But let's get down to the nitty gritty. First of all, um, both of the shootings that happened were in Asian communities, and the shooter was an Asian person. So this is not a racialized crime, okay? It's a crime nonetheless, and it's a mass murder. But in the same way that the other mass shooter who shot up the school was a Latino male who killed Latino students, this is two Asian males who killed a whole bunch of other Asian people. So now the Asian community can come cry to the rest of us like we give a shit. The reality is we don't. Okay? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Everybody who has been having conversations about gun violence and mass shootings and like having more restrictions on guns, all those people who've been saying those things that affect everyone are still saying like nobody's opinion on that shit changed just because the shooting happened during a solar loon. Even if it did, like I keep reading all of these like liberal publications who are talking about something about the solar moon and that this has something to do with the solar moon. I don't even know what the solar moon is, to be honest. And some other Asian person did the crime. So, like, if it has something to do with solar moon, unfortunately, I don't even know what the fuck that is. And, like, crime is crime. And most people commit crime with the people that they live around who are of the same race. So, when we're having conversations about the model minority myth and how Asian people are so much less violent, let's just remember 22 people in California are dead. Like, they ain't coming back. And you know who shot them? Two Asian dudes. So, just want to drink to that. And maybe people should realize that society, especially American society, has a real big problem. And it ain't got nothing to do with black people. So leave black people's name out of this. Thank you very much. Some old Asian dude shot up everybody. Go talk to the other Asians. They should know. He is a member of their community. Looks like he was a member of one of their churches or something. Some shit. Shot up everybody. Mm. Well, that ain't got nothing to do with me. First of all, I'm not Asian. Second of all, I no longer live in California. So I don't really care, but that's not the point. I just really think it's important to like talk about society and how shitty society is. Because now I think other people who are not black, all of a sudden they seem to have the same conversations that black people have been having for like a very long time. It's like all the black people have been out here like, ooh, things aren't good, things aren't good, things aren't good. And they were like, we don't care because they're just not good for the black people, but they're good for us, so fuck those niggers. And then all of a sudden, the same crime that was hitting our doorstep and not theirs is on their doorstep. Like, guess you can't go to the dance studio because old Chinpa might shoot you up like he did. Like, has nothing to do with a black person, so. Hmm. I guess, like, you have to. I guess humanity really is just humanity. And America has a real problem with, like, mass shootings. Like, this is an American thing. I don't know what it is, but like, well, I shouldn't say that. I actually do feel like I know what it is. I think that, um, especially in these like smaller sub communities, we could kind of call them that. Um, people have this idea of like what they have figured out that has worked. So, what's one good way to say this? Like, oh, I have a I have a education. And education is safe, so I can go boast and brag to other people from different communities and tell them about my education, and now they will think I'm good and right and moral and great. And the people who don't have an education, those people are the people who are bad and wrong. Mm. And it's like, okay, you can play that game, that's fine. Okay. So then what about like when that doesn't hold? You know what I mean? Like, what about when someone, how do you say it? What about when you have an education, but other parts, like maybe some part of your like sexual orientation is questioned, and then people from your community don't respect you? What do you do then? Or what about when there are people from your subgroup who um I don't know, how do you say? Like, I'm trying to figure out a good way to explain this, and I can't really, I'm not finding the words, but like, hmm. So it's like you have this experience in this community. And the whole thing about community, like wherever you, as you grow up, right, as a child, and like you know all these things, you know the cultural norms about the people who you grew up with. You get it. It makes sense. You know those people. You know what's acceptable to say, what's not acceptable to say, what's acceptable to do, what's not acceptable to do. You get all those things. But as soon as you try into a new community, everything's different. This is why people have all these terms about like social class. Like, one thing I learned from going to like Oakland School of the Arts and then going to Berkeley High is like Oakland School of the Arts people would be like ghetto and broke, and most of them are black, to be honest. It's probably changed a lot now, but when I was going there, it was like that. Like, people just had no culture, they were just ghetto. And like all they knew was, it was like the ghettoization of art school. Like art school in the hood. And then it's like you go to Berkeley High and then you just come back to culture and you're like, oh, yes, this is what high school is supposed to be like. It's like people have North Face Isabella backpacks, okay? And they've got like what Sperry sneakers and like tutors, like YMCA memberships, extracurricular activities, play dates on the weekend, barbecues, snow trips. That shit, I didn't see it happening at OSA. Maybe it was happening. I wasn't familiar with it. Mm. And that's not like some extraordinary thing. That's like the normal. It's normal. Okay. Oh, God. It's weird. It's fucking weird.